The Panthers are in the middle of a massive transformation, and the ripple effects are being felt all across the league. From aggressive free agent acquisitions that have the rest of the NFC South on high alert, to internal roster turnover that is sparking serious debate among the fan base, the narrative in Charlotte is shifting rapidly. We have breaking news on a key defensive signing, a controversial departure that could haunt the front office, and an inside look at a potential draft day replacement. If you love this team, help us hit 1,000 subscribers by hitting that button right now.
The news cycle in Carolina has been dominated by one name over the last 24 hours, and for good reason. Jaelan Phillips has officially joined the Panthers. This is not just a standard free agent signing. This is a clear signal from the front office that the defensive identity of this team is about to undergo a significant upgrade. When you look at the landscape of the NFC South, the need for a high-motor edge rusher who can consistently disrupt the pocket has been the single biggest requirement for this team's success. Jaelan Phillips provides that immediate impact. His arrival is being viewed by those inside the facility as a massive coup. The technical skill set he brings to the table is precisely what this defensive line has been missing since the start of the previous campaign. When you evaluate his tape, you see a player who possesses an incredible first step, allowing him to win leverage against even the most seasoned tackles in the league. His ability to bend the edge and create pressure without needing to rely on exotic blitz packages is going to allow the secondary to play with more discipline and confidence. This move puts the entire league on notice. You are looking at a player who has consistently demonstrated the ability to be a game changer on third downs, a situation where the Panthers struggled mightily throughout last season. The financial investment in Jaelan Phillips reflects the organization's commitment to rebuilding the defensive front into a force that can dictate the terms of engagement on Sundays. We are looking at a player who is entering his prime, and the hope is that this environment will allow him to reach a new level of productivity. In terms of scheme fit, he transitions seamlessly into the defensive philosophy currently being instilled by the coaching staff. By pairing him with existing talent, the team creates a symbiotic relationship where multiple players can benefit from the attention he demands. It is rare to find a free agent who fits both the culture and the tactical requirements so perfectly. The fan reaction has been overwhelmingly positive, and for good reason, as the scarcity of elite edge talent in the open market makes this acquisition even more impressive. Looking ahead, this move likely forces opponents to shift their blocking schemes entirely, which creates opportunities for other defenders to shine. It is a strategic masterstroke that addresses an immediate deficiency. While it is still early in the process, the energy around the training facility is palpable. Everyone is eager to see how he integrates into the defensive rotation. But that is not the only situation developing right now, as we have to look at the other side of the roster moves that have caught the attention of the media.
If you are enjoying this deep dive into the latest Panthers news, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring you more exclusive analysis every single day.
The decision to let Cade Mays walk to the Detroit Lions has sparked a firestorm of discussion among analysts and fans alike. When you look in the trenches, continuity and depth are the currencies that matter most. And by allowing a versatile piece like Cade Mays to exit, the team has taken a calculated risk that many are now second-guessing. The organization moved quickly to fill that void by bringing in Luke Fortner, but the conversation remains focused on whether this was a lateral move or a step backward in terms of offensive line flexibility. From a tactical standpoint, losing a player who can fill multiple roles is never an easy pill to swallow. Cade Mays was a player who provided the coaching staff with the luxury of shifting personnel during a game without sacrificing too much in terms of performance. The replacement, Luke Fortner, brings his own set of strengths to the offensive line group, particularly in terms of his pass blocking technique and his familiarity with specific zone blocking schemes. However, the chemistry that was built over the previous seasons is difficult to replicate overnight. The front office is clearly prioritizing a specific profile for their linemen, focusing on athleticism and the ability to operate in space. While Luke Fortner fits that mold, the emotional impact of losing a familiar face in the locker room cannot be understated. There is a strong sense that the team may look back on this sequence of events with regret if the offensive line encounters some injury issues later in the season. You have to consider the long-term roster construction here. General manager decisions are rarely made in a vacuum, and this one clearly points toward a desire to reset the cap while maintaining a certain level of performance. It is a balancing act that defines the modern NFL. The fans are understandably protective of the players who have been through the grind, and Cade Mays was a solid contributor who provided reliable snaps when called upon. Now, the burden of proof falls on the coaching staff to ensure that Luke Fortner not only fills that spot, but improves upon the overall efficiency of the unit. We are looking at a high-stakes transition that will be scrutinized every time the quarterback is forced to step up into a clean pocket. If the protection holds, this move will be hailed as a smart piece of business. If it fails, the critics will be loud. The reality of the situation is that the team is trying to get younger and potentially more explosive along the front, but that comes with the inherent risk of losing the reliability that veteran depth provides. It is a fascinating study in team management and roster philosophy that continues to evolve as we head into the next phase of the offseason.
As we look toward the future, the draft board is already taking shape, and the latest mock drafts from experts like Mel Kiper are pointing toward a very specific need for the Carolina Panthers. The focus is squarely on finding the long-term successor for Nick Scott. While Nick Scott brought a veteran presence and a specific tactical awareness to the defensive backfield, the organization is clearly identifying the need for a younger, more dynamic playmaker who can cover more ground and contribute to the turnover margin. This is not a knock on the production we have seen. Rather, it is a strategic recognition that the game is evolving and the team needs to get faster in the secondary. Mel Kiper has highlighted several prospects who fit the profile of a high-ceiling safety capable of mirroring the versatility that the coaching staff demands. The goal is to find someone who can step into that role and eventually become a cornerstone of the defensive scheme. When you analyze the current defensive philosophy, it is clear that the team wants to play more aggressive coverage, which requires safeties who can play downhill and react to the ball with extreme speed. The potential successor will need to be able to handle the complexity of the defensive playbook while also being ready to contribute on special teams immediately. This is a critical pivot point for the franchise. Investing in the secondary through the draft is often the most cost-effective way to sustain success over a long period. By identifying this need now, the scouting department is giving themselves the best chance to secure a player who can grow into a starting role by mid-season. The historical context of this franchise shows that when they have a strong, communicative secondary, the overall defense reaches a championship level. We are talking about a position that acts as the final line of defense, and finding the right fit is paramount to the team's defensive identity. Fans should be excited about the possibility of drafting a high-impact player to fill this void. The analytical models are showing that a young, hungry defender could transform the way the entire secondary operates, allowing the defensive coordinator to be more creative with his blitz packages. It is an exciting time to be following the draft process, especially as we see the team identify these specific areas of improvement. We will be tracking the scouting reports on these potential prospects closely as the draft date approaches, because this pick could very well define the trajectory of the defense for the next several years. The team is not just looking for a player, they are looking for a culture setter who can honor the work that was done before while pushing the unit towards new heights of excellence. It has been a busy stretch for the Carolina Panthers, with Jaelan Phillips joining the fold, the departure of Cade Mays, and the search for the next defensive star in the draft. The team is clearly aiming for a major turnaround, and every move is being calculated to get them back to the top of the division. I want to know what you think. Do you believe the team made the right call in the trenches, and who are you hoping they target to replace the production in the secondary? Let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more daily insider updates.